Hello. Applying concepts of algebra in solving everyday problems is vital in understanding algebra. So we are going to spend one more lesson in solving application problems. Now, in order to do that, first we will discuss the concept of percentage in solving problems. I know most of you know the concept of percentage, but let's go through a review of that. What does percentage actually mean? Percentage means per 100. 20% means 20 out of 100. Is that right? Yes. Percent is a ratio where the denominator is always 100. Is that right? 10% is 10 divided by 100. 30% is 30 divided by 100. Out of 100. Percent. So percent is actually a ratio where the denominator is 100. 15% equal to 15 divided by 100. And you can write it as a decimal. 15% equal to 0.15. It is very important that you know how to convert percent to a decimal in solving problems. Now, in solving problems, we represent percent as a decimal. Now tell me, what is the decimal form of 8%? 8% means 8 divided by 100. 8 out of 100. Can you write that using decimals? 8 divided by 100 is 0.08. Alright, what is the decimal form of 82%? 82% is 82 divided by 100. What is the decimal form of that? 0.82. Okay, what is 20% of 60? What is 20% of 60? You can actually rewrite this sentence into an equation straight away. Look at this. 20% of 60. What does of means? Of actually stands for multiplication there. 20% of 60 means 20% multiplied by 60. Alright, let's write it like this. 20% is 20 divided by 100. And of becomes a multiplication. There you are. Of is a multiplication. And 60. 20% of 60. 20% is 20 divided by 100. Of becomes a multiplication and 60. So obviously it means 20 divided by 100 multiplied by 60. And that will be 20 divided by 100 is 0.2. That will be therefore 0.2 multiplied by 60. Can you do that for me? What is 0.2 multiplied by 60? That is 12. I hope you know how to do this simple multiplication. Alright, another one. What is 80% of 3.5? You can do the same way. What is 80% of 3.5? So 80% of 3.5 is 0.8 multiplied by 3.5. You see, a very simple way to find the percent. Now, can you tell me what is 40% of 60? 40% of 60. 40% is 0.4. So it will be 0.4 multiplied by 60. 80% of 3.5 is 0.8 multiplied by 3.5, and that will be 2.88. What is 5.5% of 2000? Well, what is the decimal form of 5.5%? The decimal form of 5.5% is 0.055. That's right, 5% of 2000 is 0.055. This is the decimal form of 5.5% multiplied by 2000. Now, how would you do that without making a mistake? You have a 0.055 multiplied by 2000. You see, there is a simple way to do this, and that is, you can cut 1 0 from here and move decimal 1 place to the right. Each time you cut a 0, move decimal 1 place to the right on the other number. Alright? If I cut off these 3 zeros, I move decimal how many places in the other number? 3 places. So, this is, I cut away the 3 zeros and move the decimal 3 places. I get this as 55 multiplied by 2. Do you understand that concept? And that will be 110. A very easy way to multiply a decimal number with a number that has, say, zeros at the end. For example, let me show you this. What is 0.015 times 5,000? Now, here again, I can cut off the 3 zeros at the end and move the decimal here 3 places to the right. You see? That means the number now becomes 3 zeros goes and the 3 decimal makes that number a 15. 15 times 5 is 75. Okay, so 0.055 times 2000 is 110. There you go. Okay, let's move on. How much pure alcohol is there in 120 liters of 30% alcohol solution? Now, we have a certain amount of alcohol mixed with water. That is what is called alcohol solution. Pure alcohol is mixed with alcohol. Pure alcohol is mixed with water to produce an alcohol solution. And what is the meaning of a 30% alcohol solution? It means 30% of that solution is pure alcohol. That is the meaning. A 30% alcohol solution means 30% of that solution contains pure alcohol. Now, how much solution we have? We have 120 liters of solution. Now, we need to find the amount of pure alcohol in it. Now, we are told that the solution is a 30% alcohol solution. It means 30% of 120 liters is pure alcohol. So what is our task now? Our task is to find 30% of 120 liters. Can you do that? The amount of alcohol is 30% of 120 liters. Now, what is 30% of 120 liters? 30% is 0.3. 0.3 times 120. Now, can you do this using the same method I showed you how to cut zeros and move decimals? There is a 0 here. You can cut that 0 off and move the decimal 1 place to the right. So 0.3 times 120 is the same as 3 times 12, and that is 36. Okay? Alright, another one. What is the interest earned on $60,000 at 4% interest rate for 5 years? Now again, every time you have a problem, you need to understand the problem. What does this problem mean? You invest $60,000 in the bank, and the bank promises to give you 4% interest. What does it mean? It means at the end of every year, the bank will give you 4% of $60,000 to you at the end of every year. And if it is done for 5 years, you get 5 times the amount you get each year. So the first thing we're going to do is, what is the interest amount the bank will pay you at the end of the first year? What is the interest amount the bank will pay you at the end of the first year? It will be 4% of 60,000. Okay, let's do that. Interest paid for a year is 4% of $60,000. And what is that? 4% of $60,000 is, 4% is 0.04 multiplied by 60,000. Now, can you do this without making a mistake? Using the same method I showed you. Now watch here. I'm going to show you that. What all you need to do is make 0.04 a whole number. How many places do you have to move the decimal? 2 places, so that it becomes 4. And because you have moved 2 places, the decimal 2 places to the right, and that is equivalent to multiplying by 100. To compensate for that, we cut off the 2 zeros, which is equivalent to dividing by 100. You see how we compensate? Multiply and divide by the same number. Multiply by 100, move the decimal 2 places to the right. To compensate for that, we divide by 100. Cancel the 2 zeros. So, cut off the 2 zeros. What does that become? It is now the same as 4 multiplied by 600. You see, you can now do that very easily. You know, 4 multiplied by 600 is 2,400. Alright, so this will be $2,400. At the end of 1 year, you get $2,400. That is 4% of 60,000. And now you have left the money there for 5 years. What is the total interest you get? Interest earned for 5 years will be 2,400 multiplied by 5, and that will be $12,000. Okay, let's go and do another one. Well, it will be interesting if you can take note of this statement I have put in there. If an amount P dollars is invested at R% interest for T years, the interest earned will be given by the formula I, the interest, equal to P times R times T. Well, remember that R, the rate of interest, must be written in decimal. The percent must be converted to a decimal. You see, if you look here, this is the principal, the amount you invested. You multiply the amount with R, that is P times R, that will give you the amount of interest for 1 year. And then you multiply that with the number of years, you get the amount of interest for those many years. So, to get the total interest, multiply the amount you invested, that is P, by the rate of interest in decimals, that is R, and by the time the number of years. So I equal to P times R times T, where P is the amount of money you invested, R is the rate of interest in decimal form, and T is the number of years the money is invested. Alright, let's do a problem using this. Joan invests part of her savings at 6% interest and 6,000 more than 3 times as much in mutual funds paying 5%. If the total income from both investment is $825, how much did she invest at each? Okay, now read the problem and see whether you can understand it. Joan has made 2 investments. One is she invested some amount at 6% interest. In the second investment is an investment in a mutual fund. Now, how much did she invest in the second investment? Well, it says 6,000 more than 3 times as much. As much stands for the amount she invested in the first. So, we need to start by saying that let the amount of money Joan invested at 6% be equal to X. Does it make sense? Alright, let the amount invested at 6% be equal to X. Alright, is there any way to find out how much she invested in the mutual funds? If X is the amount she invested at 6% interest, then she invested 6,000 more than 3 times as much. 3 times X is 3X. 6,000 more than 3X is 3X plus 6,000. So the amount of money she invested in the mutual funds is 3X plus 6,000. So the amount then she invested at 5%, that is the mutual funds, is 6,000 more than 3 times as much. You see, 6,000 more means 6,000 added to 3 times the amount of money she invested at 6%. So now we know she invested X amount of dollars at 6%. And 6,000 plus 3X amount of dollars at 5%. Alright, can we now find the interest earned on each of these investments? Tell me, if X amount of dollars are invested at 6%, what is the interest that she earns on it for a year? That will be 6% of X. What is 6% of X? The interest earned on 6% investment is 6% of X. That will be, now can you write 6% as a decimal? That will be 0.06. So 0.06 times X. That will be 0.06X. 6% of X is 0.06X. Now that is the interest she will get on this X amount invested at 6% in 1 year. Okay, tell me, what is the interest that she will get on this amount? 6,000 plus 3X at 5% interest. And watch how this is written. 5% of this total amount, 6,000 plus 3X. Now, treat this as a quantity. How would you write that? 5% of this quantity. It will be 0.05 multiplied by the quantity. There you are. 0.05 times 6,000 plus 3X. This is the interest she will get on this amount invested at 5%. It is 5% of that amount, 0.05 multiplied by the amount. And now 0.06x is the amount of interest she will get on the 6% investment, and 0.05 times 6,000 plus 3x is the amount of interest she will earn on the 5% investment. What is the total interest therefore she will earn? Is this quantity added to this quantity. The total interest is 0.06x plus 0.05 times 6,000 plus 3x. And we are told that this total interest she earns is $825. So what we now do is equate this quantity to be equal to $825. But the total interest earned is $825. So what do? The total interest earned equal to 825, and that is our equation now. Okay, can you help me solve this equation? I have told you, when you have an equation that contains fractions or decimals, first of all, eliminate the fractions or decimals, make the numbers whole. Now, in the case of fractions, you choose a number when you multiply each term, or the denominators will cancel. What do you do in the case of decimals to make the numbers whole numbers? Well, if you look here, move decimal 2 places to the right so that 0.06 will become 6. Move decimal 2 places to the right so that 0.05 will become 5. Now, moving decimal 2 places to the right is obtained by multiplying by 100. So what we need to do is multiply each term. Look at the term here. This is one term. This is the second term. And on the right side, that is the term. Multiply each term with 100. All right? Well, before that, you can actually distribute so that it becomes maybe a little simpler. Although, I would have preferred the other way around. Well, let's distribute. 0.05 multiplied by 6,000. Can you do that in your mind? 0.05 multiplied by 6,000. Alright. Let's practice that one more time. 0.05 multiplied by 6,000. I have showed you how to do this. Now, cut away 2 zeros at the end and move decimal 2 places to the right. It will become 5 times 60. 5 times 60 is 300. So when you want to distribute, 0.05 multiplied by 6,000 is 300. And 0.05 multiplied by 3x. What is 0.05 multiplied by 3? That will be 0.15. So 0.05 multiplied by 3x is 0.15x. So we have now 0.06x plus 300 plus 0.15x equal to 825. And what will you do now? We have terms in x that we can add. Alright, what is 0.0x plus 0.15x? That we can add on the left and move the 300 to the right. So move this 300 to the right and now add the 2 terms in x on the left. What does that give you? 0.06x added to 0.15x is 0.21x. And that's equal to 825 minus 300 is 525. Well, see, that simplification made it easy for us now. Now we got to make the decimal a whole number. What did I do? I multiplied the left-hand side by 100. So 0.21 became 21. I multiplied the right-hand side by 100. Simply add two zeros. So you get 21x equal to 52,500. I hope you understood how I came from this step to this. Multiply the left-hand side and the right-hand side by 100 so that the decimal now becomes a whole number. Alright, now divide both sides by 21. 21x divided by 21 is 52,500 divided by 21. Alright, 21 and 21 goes. Can you simplify the right hand side? Yes, it's very simple. 52,500 is 21 times 2,500. Well, you can try dividing this number by 21. It's very easy actually. Alright, so 21 and 21 cancels. Therefore, x equal to 2,500. Now, what does x stands for? X is the amount of money she invested at 6%. So the amount of money invested at 6% is 2,500. Tell me, what is the amount of money she invested at 5% then? The amount of money invested at 5% is this, 6,000 more than 3 times x. So that will be 6,000 plus 3 times 2,500, and that is $13,500. Okay, this is an important type of problems. I want you to do this one more time or even couple more times and learn the technique of problems like this. Also, I have given you problems like this in the homework. Please practice that. Alright, another problem. A cashier finds that she has $1,290 made up of $20 and $50 bills. If she has a total of 42 bills, how many of each kind does she have? In other words, she has a total of 42 bills made up of some $20 bills and some $50 bills. The question we want to answer is, how many $20 bills does she have and how many $50 bills she has? Now, how do we start this? We start by saying that let the $20 bills be X. We need to find the number of $20 bills and the number of $50 bills. Well, we started by saying that let the number of $20 bills be X. Now, can you tell me, if X is the number of $20 bills, then how many $50 bills are there? The total number of bills is 42. So, from 42, if you take away the number of $20 bills, which is X, then the remaining will be the $50 bills. So, how many $50 bills are there? The $50 bills will be 42 minus X. I hope you understand that. Total number of bills is 42. Out of that, X are $20 bills. And therefore, how many $50 bills are there? 42 minus X. Alright, now tell me, if I have two $20 bills, what is the total value? Each $20 value has a value of $20. So, two $20 will give me 2 times 20, $40. If I have 5 $20 bills, the total value will be 20 times 5, 100. If I have 8 $20 bills, the total value will be 20 times 8, $160. Okay, I have X $20 bills. What is the value of those X $20 bills? The value of X $20 bills will be 20X. Is that right? Because each $20 bill, it has the value 20. 5 $20 bills will have a total value 20 times 5. 8 $20 bills will have a total value 20 times 8. X $20 bills will have a total value 20 times X dollars. Alright, in that case, what is the total value of these many $50 bills? Each $50 bill give you $50. Alright, 8 $50 bills will give me 50 times $8. 42 minus X $50 bills will give me how many dollars? Will give me 50 times the number of $50 bills. 50 times 42 minus X. Alright, since the total amount is 1,290, we should be able to say the total amount of money in $20 bills added to total amount of money in $50 bills. If these two are added together, I must get 1,290. Look at that. The total amount of money in $20 bills is 20 times X, plus the total amount of money in $50 bills is 50 times the number of $50 bills, 42 minus X. And that total amount of money is 1,290. We have now our equation. We can now solve it. What is the first thing to do to solve an equation like this? Well, obviously, you need to distribute that 50. Distribute the 50. Let's do that in here. Distribute the 50. What is 50 times 42? 50 times 42 is 2,100. And what is 50 times negative X? 50 times negative X is minus 50X. So the equation now becomes 20X plus 2,100 minus 50X equal to 1,290. What do we do now? Keep the terms in X on the left and move the 2,100 to the right. 20X minus 50X equal to 1,290 minus 2,100. Well, 20X minus 50X is negative 30X, and 1,290 minus 2,100 is negative 810. Divide both sides by a negative 1, or since both sides are negative, you can make them both positive. Is that right? You can do that, because if negative X equal to negative 20, then X equal to 20. If negative 30X equal to negative 810, then positive 30X equal to 810. Alright? So now divide both sides by 30. 30X divided by 30 equal to 810 divided by 30. Well, the left side is X, 30 and 30 goes, and the right side, 810, is actually 30 multiplied by 27. Divided by 30, and 30 and 30 goes. That gives me X equal to 27. The number of $20 bills is 27. And therefore, how many $50 bills are there? Will be 42 minus 27, that is 15. Again, another important type of problem. You must learn how to do these kind of problems. Another one, we now talk about different concepts. Now, how is distance, speed and time related? You know that when you drive, the speedometer of your car will show you your speed. If you are traveling at 30 miles per hour, now what does that mean? 30 miles per hour. You are covering a distance of 30 miles every hour. That's the meaning, 30 miles per hour. And if you travel for 5 hours, what will be the total distance you cover? The total distance can be found by multiplying the speed by the time. Alright, let's write down a couple of equations to learn this. Average speed of a moving object. What is the meaning of speed? Speed is the rate at which distance is covered. In other words, speed is the ratio of distance to time. And I can write it like this: average speed equal to distance moved divided by the time taken. So speed equal to distance divided by time. You must know that. Speed is a ratio of distance to time. Now, if you now take the cross product, look at this. Average speed on the left side, you only have a numerator. What is the denominator? Denominator is actually 1. If you take the cross product, I can say speed, average speed multiplied by time will be 1 multiplied by distance, or distance equal to average speed multiplied by time. Isn't it? If you travel with an average speed of 30 miles per hour, and if you travel for 5 hours, the total distance you cover will be 30 multiplied by 5, 150 miles. So distance covered by a moving object is average speed multiplied by the time. And average speed is the ratio of distance to time. And both these formulae you must know. And we are going to use these results to solve a simple problem. Let's see how we can do that. An automobile averages 55 kilometers per hour and travels for 30 minutes. What is the distance covered by the automobile? Now tell me, will the distance covered be less than 55 or greater than 55? What does this mean? Average speed is 55 kilometers per hour. It means the car will cover a distance of 55 kilometers in 1 hour. And therefore, 30 minutes is only half hour. The distance covered in half hour will certainly be less than 55. Now, remember, because the average speed is given in kilometer per hour, our time should be used in hour. 30 minutes is how many hours? Is half an hour. So that's the warning here. Because the speed is given in kilometer per hour, the time must be used in hour and not in minutes. And therefore, you must say the time given is 30 minutes, which is half an hour. Average speed is 55 kilometers per hour. And time is 30 minutes, which is half an hour, 0.5 hour. And we want to find the distance. What is the formula for distance? Distance is average speed multiplied by time. The average speed is 55 kilometers per hour and the time is 0.5 hour. Can you multiply 55 by 0.5? What do you get? That is 27.5 kilometers. So in half an hour, the car will move a distance of 27.5 kilometers, which is half of 55 kilometers. All right, another one. Two cars start from towns that are 400 kilometers apart and travel toward each other. They're traveling towards each other. They meet after 4 hours. That means car 1 has been traveling for 4 hours. Car 2 also has been traveling for 4 hours. Is that right? They meet after 4 hours. Now find the speed of each car if one travels 20 kilometers per hour faster than the other. Alright, first of all, let's call these two cars A and B. This is car A. Can you see it? I doubt whether the camera will pick it up to the left. Well, the car A is to the left, it's in Miami, and car B is in Tampa. Alright, on the right. Now car A is going to travel west and car B is going to travel east, and they are going to meet in 4 hours. That means car A will be traveling for 4 hours. Car B will also be traveling for 4 hours. What is it that we need to find? Find the speed of each car. Well, I have asked you again, if you are told to find something, you need to call that X. But here, we were told to find the speed of each car. Now, we are also told that one travels 20 kilometers faster than the other. So, the total distance from city A to city B is 400 kilometers. Now, because they are traveling towards each other, it means the distance traveled by A added to the distance traveled by B is 400 kilometers. Is that right? Because they are traveling from opposite directions. The distance traveled by A added to the distance traveled by B will be 400 kilometers. All right. We will assume that let the average speed of car A be X. All right. Then what is the average speed of car B? If the average speed of car A is X, then the other car must be traveling 20 kilometers per hour faster. So what is the average speed of car B? It will be X plus 20. That's right. So the speed of car A is X kilometers per hour. The speed of car B is 20 more than that, 20 plus X kilometers per hour. Okay. Now, can you tell me, the car A is traveling with a speed of X kilometers per hour, and for how long is it traveling? What is the time of travel? That these two cars will meet in 4 hours. That means each car has been traveling for 4 hours. So after 4 hours they meet. It means this was traveling for 4 hours and car B also was traveling for 4 hours. That's right. Now, distance covered by A in 4 hours. This is the distance covered by A in 4 hours. Added to the distance covered by B in 4 hours should be the total distance 400 kilometers. And that is what we're going to use in solving the problem. Alright, let's now, what is the distance equal to? Distance covered is speed multiplied by time. Alright, therefore what is the distance covered by A? Its speed is x and the time it has been traveling is 4 hours. Therefore the distance covered by A in 4 hours is 4 hours multiplied by the speed. Average speed multiplied by the time. Average speed is x. The time is 4 hours. The distance covered by A is 4x kilometers. What is the distance covered by B in the same time, in 4 hours? It will be 4 multiplied by its speed. The speed of B is 20 plus x. And now, if you add the distance covered by A, this distance, to the distance covered by B, you must get 400. That is 4x added to 4 times 20 plus x equal to 400. Now what is the next step? Distribute this 4. That will be 4x plus 4 times 20 is 80. 4 times positive x is plus 4x equal to 400. What is the next step? 4x added to 4x on the left is 8x. And move 80 from the left to the right, it will become 400 minus 80. 8x equal to 400 minus 80. And that's equal to 320. 8x equal to 320. And therefore x equal to, I don't think you need my help to solve that. 8x equal to 320. Divide both sides by 8. You get x equal to 40 kilometer per hour. And that car was crawling at 40 kilometer per hour. That is the minimum speed allowed on our highways. Is that right? Yes. Alright, this is the speed of car A. Therefore, what is the speed of car B? Car B is traveling at a speed 20 kilometer per hour more than this. And therefore, the speed of car B is 60 kilometer per hour. Both are very pathetic speeds, aren't they? Okay, well our problem is to solve these kind of problems. Well, now important problems in interest calculations and distance and speed, these kind of problems are very common in your final exam. So you must prepare yourself to do that. Especially percentage is a very important concept. Alright, I'm going to stop this lesson now and I will take you to the last lesson of this unit later on. Okay, I will see you for that a little later.